All right, welcome back to another shop tour. It's been a little bit. Thank you for your patience on the videos. This is one of the longest stretches I've had in 4 years not putting out a video, but we'll share that with you in the next video, why that was. But we've done a lot of work in here. We're getting close to finishing up a couple of these boats, and we're gonna share that with you right now. All right, so we have the 1937 17-foot utility. We are just putting the final coats on there. Matter of fact, Tim's doing that right now, putting the final coat on the deck. It's got its name put back on it. We did it just like the original name. Chris Craft on the side, utility in silver leaf. Now it's aluminum leaf, but it's color of silver, and that's the way they did it in the factory too. So. Also the numbers up front, we redid the numbers as well and put those in gold leaf. So this boat's getting very close. It has its ceiling boards in it. We've got all the interior pieces painted, or we're finishing up on varnishing for that. And then the interior is at the upholster, and that's getting redone. So this boat's pretty close to turning the corner, and then we'll put in final assembly and be done with it. So we have the 17-foot ski boat. We are just about ready to glue this bottom on. We took a little break from it, trying to get some other boats wrapped up as well. And so we're back on this one next week. We're going to remove these planks and then bed them into 5200. These planks are already glued on, so those are all good. The transom plank is already glued on, so that's all taken care of. So now it's just a matter of getting these glued on and then fairing them out, putting barrier coat on there, some bottom paint, and then we can move on to touching up these sides in the front like the Riviera with getting those stained and scribing the water line on here, and we are ready to flip this one right side up. So we have the 18-foot Chris Craft utility. The bottom is done on this boat. We faired it out. We put barrier coat on it, and then we put bottom paint on it. 3 coats barrier coat, 2 coats bottom paint. Water line's been scribed. We're gonna have to do the same thing with staining, but on this boat, what we did is we removed all the side planks. When we did that, we checked them to make sure that they were thick enough, which they were. They were just under a ½ inch. And so we decided to use the old planks. They were all here. They were all the thickness. The varnish is off of them, so it's not gonna take much to get this back to bare wood and then stained. This boat, we're gonna have to do a little bit of extra staining on this plank here, and then the one that we repaired in the back, just because this boat's Honduras. And so you find that between like 46 to 48, that whole shortage of wood from Chris Craft. If you don't know that story, the deal is right after World War II, most of the Philippine shipping and all that, and the wood that they would send to the United States, Chris Craft couldn't get it. So they started painting some of their boats white, like the white U-22. That's really common. That's one of my favorite boats. And then also some of the boats were Honduras. Some of the 25-foot Sportsmans were Honduras, early ones. And then some of these boats were as well. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit of work in extra staining. We'll probably put a few coats of varnish over the top of it, stain it, put a few coats of varnish over the top of it, and then probably stain over that again to try to get it all to match. But we decided to use the old planks, and so we restacked them. And I've shown that before, how we jam all these planks up, and then there might be a little gap at the bottom down here, and then we can either just fill that so the screws for the trim attach properly. But yeah, we're getting very close on this one. To doing the other side, we have to still do that. Then we can fair this whole thing out and get this thing stained and flipped right side up. So stay tuned for that. So we have the 18-foot Riviera here. We have another one in the shop that we're gonna share with you in a second, Boompa. This one, we put a new bottom on it. So it's got all new wood in the bottom, new intermediate frames. We fixed a couple other things. There were some frames that needed attention. If you watch the older shop tours, you'll see that. We barrier coated it, so it's got 3 coats of barrier coat on it, that 2000 knee Interlux, and then we coated it with 2 coats of hard racing bronze paint, marked off the water line, and then stained up in front, because that water line comes up through that new side plank, which is part of the bottom. When we do bottom jobs, we always do this lower plank on the side because that's under the water as well. So up front it gets stained, so we got that done. That looks good. Got bilge paint done on the inside as well. Got the new wiring harness put in. Basically what we're trying to do is get this boat to a point with the engine sitting in here that we don't have to take the engine out anymore. We don't have to, disassemble the whole boat to do the sides and the deck. We'll just cover those with tarps and plastic, cover those, keep those real nice, and then we can move on next winter with the sides and the deck of this boat. So it's kind of a 2-stage restoration that I've talked about before. So just putting the hardware on now. The steering wheel has gone in. All that is hooked up, wired, and ready to go. So it won't be long before we finish this boat up. Probably in the next month, this boat will be put on its trailer and then head into the lake for the summer. So we have the 18-foot Riviera Boompa. We have finished varnishing on this boat. We took the opportunity to put a couple extra coats on here because the boat's been sitting for a while and the varnish, it had 22 coats on it. The varnish was able to really shrink really good and then harden up. And so it's always a good idea if you have that opportunity to put a couple extra coats on here before you wet sand and buff. We are ready to buff this thing out and then paint the deck stripes on it, and then we can start getting the hardware on it when it comes back. It's getting chromed right now and should be back here in the next few weeks. Engine's getting rebuilt. That should be done in the next few weeks. The interior has been started on, so that's in the works. All the running gear, everything, wiring, and everything's already in the boat. So really, as it sits right now, the only thing to do on this thing is to buff and do the deck stripes. You see these, they look kind of funny, but what we do here is we don't want any of that slurry from wet sand to go down inside, because if it does go down inside there and it's inside the hull of the boat, it's really super hard to clean. So I'm pretty sure I talked about this before, about wet sanding and stuff, but this white slurry, once it dries, is super hard to get off. So just clean up after yourself when you do it, when you do wet sand the boat. Take some precautions, put some plastic down so you don't have a lot of extra cleaning when it's done. So probably in the next month, this guy will be really ready to go back on its trailer and really ready for a new life. It's basically a brand new boat, although it's got a lot of the old wood in it, but we've touched everything in this boat. So should last another 50, 70, who knows how long, but really nice 18-foot Riviera. So we have the 1950 twin engine Chris Craft Sportsman, 25 foot. We have 15 coats of varnish on this now, and it is really looking good. It's really flat. We've also sanded the seams with 80 grit, clean those out. The varnish that was sometimes get pooled up in there a little bit, clean all that out. We put in the Sikaflex mahogany colored seam compound, caulking, and we're just waiting for that to dry and cure really good. We are waiting on a bunch of parts as well. So if you remember this boat, the state that it came to us in was really bad. A lot of pieces were rusted, some pieces were missing. We've pretty much tracked down most of that, but like tack cables, that kind of stuff, those were all rusted and gone. So this next week, we're gonna be ordering up tack cables, choke cables, that kind of stuff. The engines are in, aligned, the wiring's in, ready to go. So here probably the next couple weeks, we're gonna start on the interior. The upholsterer will come and then start on the interior pieces too. And we're waiting for the new name to be applied as well. So we're working on that right now with the artist and the owner to try to figure out what he wants. We will share that with you when that's done too. The numbers, MC numbers will go on. Also Chris Craft on the side will go on at that time, and then we'll do our 4 to 5 coats of varnish over the top of that. So it's getting very close. There is not a lot ready to do on this for the next week or so. So we're just gonna, like I said, accumulate all those parts, get everything gathered, and so we can assemble this when it's ready. So we haven't done much on the 25 Sportsman, the pre-war one. That is on hold for just a little bit because we need to free up some cradles so we can flip this thing over and have it supported properly. So that will be here in the next couple weeks. We'll get one of these boats done onto its trailer, get it gone so we can get this one flipped over. So we will share that with you as well. All right, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the shop tour. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. There's no tariffs on that subscribe button. That is absolutely free and it'll be free forever. So hit that for me. It really does help the channel. We're gonna just keep working in here. We are starting to pull some stuff out of storage here pretty soon too. So we'll get after that. We'll make some videos on that. We're gonna do a little bit of safety video about safety equipment. We're also gonna do some on power tools coming up and the tools that you need in the boat shop. So stay tuned for that and we will see you back here.